Welcome to this week's vlog. Firstly, I just want to reflect on the Brian May Badger programme on Friday. It's with huge disappointment that that programme went ahead in the way that it did. There was a great opportunity to present the scale of the challenge of bovine TB, the need for a comprehensive eradication strategy, and a proper science and evidence-based programme that presented both sides of the argument. Unfortunately, that is not what the BBC went ahead and did, and the programme was very one-sided. I do want to be clear, however, there are some elements of the programme that we are pushing for within our TB eradication strategy. We do need access to better testing. We need to make sure we've got all of the tools available. And if only there'd been a balanced programme where all sides of the discussion were heard, then the TB conversation could have moved forward. We need all sides to come together in this debate, and we need to make sure that we recognise the value of all parts of the eradication strategy. Unfortunately, over the weekend, we've had confirmation of the first positive case of Bluetongue this summer. I would urge all livestock keepers to be vigilant. The first case is confirmed in Norfolk, and a 20-kilometre temporary control zone has been put in place. This has been expanded since then, with subsequent animals testing positive. APHA are going to be focusing their testing in and around those temporary control zones to try and understand whether Bluetongue is circulating within the midge population or whether it's contained within those animals. We really don't know how quickly this disease will spread from here, and I would urge you all to make sure you keep an eye on our communication channels and APHA communication channels to understand the update and the latest of how this disease is circulating. There will be a webinar taking place in the middle of next week to give you the latest information. Please do be vigilant, and we'll do everything we can to minimise the impacts on your businesses. I know just how difficult this was for members last autumn and into the winter, and we really need to mitigate those impacts. General licences have been made available, and I would urge you all to do everything you can to plan for those movements and get those licences in place. I'd now like to hand over to Rachel, who had a visit from Calderdale Council, who recently announced a vegan menu.
Jennifer Costello, the West Riding County Advisor, and myself met with Calderdale Council yesterday. The Deputy Leader and the Director of Public Health came out to the farm, and we discussed their recent decision on moving to a plant-based diet when it came to their dietary requirements for their council meetings. I'd seen this on social media a few months ago, and local farmers had actually written and contacted us to actually share their annoyance, disgust, concern as to why these decisions have been taken. This seems to be happening around the country, and I think we have a responsibility to actually question why these decisions are being taken. We had a very positive conversation yesterday. We talked about the type of farming that's in their constituency. We talked about food supply chains and how long and how complex they are. We talked about how the food supply chain within agriculture itself, never mind bringing retailers in, is complicated. And we also talked about food security and self-sufficiency. The outcome of the meeting, I believe, was positive. We've now got ourselves in a position where we're in a relationship with the people that are making the decisions at Calderdale Council. And they agreed to include us in their consultation process and their discussions when it comes to their own food strategy, climate strategy, and health strategy. Now, I'll take that. I think it's a positive move. And I challenge you, when you hear of things like this going on in your part of the world, then take time out to actually have that conversation and understand why the decision has been made, but actually also explain the complexities behind the food supply chain. As always, the NFU is here to help you do that. So if you find yourself in a situation where you need to have those conversations, then get in touch with your local office and they'll make sure that they're with you all the way.
I just want to take this opportunity to update the vlog with the news coming out of DEFRA this morning about an updated TB strategy. The Labour manifesto was clear that they wanted to end the wildlife cull, and they've said in this strategy that they want to end the cull by the end of this Parliament. We must make sure that we don't waste the last 10 years of progress that has got us to a point where we've got the lowest level of reactors for 20 years. We know it's a complex disease, but we must have all the tools in the toolbox. We will work with government to develop this strategy, but I know many out there at the moment will be feeling very let down and very concerned about how we will be able to eradicate this disease. There'll be more on this next week. Thank you.